I'm 103 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that almost nobody, not your parents, not your therapist, not your self help books, will ever explain. And the reason they won't is because it is too painful, too blunt, too honest. I have lived for more than a century. I have buried 3 husbands, 2 children, most of my close friends, and nearly every person I knew before I turned 40. I have watched the world change 4 different times, and during all those years, I discovered one truth that follows me every single day. We are all living as if we have endless time, when in reality, we barely have any at all. But let me tell you when I truly learned this: not at 90, not at 80, at 33 years old. And it took me 70 years to completely understand what that moment was trying to teach me. It was 1955, October 14th. I remember clearly because it was a Friday, and I had been planning to go dancing that weekend with my husband, Robert. We had been married 8 years. We had 2 little boys, James and William. Robert worked at the steel mill. He was a good man, reliable, the kind who would kiss my forehead every morning before leaving for work and say, "See you tonight, Dorothy," except that Friday he never came home. There was an accident at the mill. They said it was quick. They said he didn't suffer, but they always say that, don't they? What they never say, what nobody tells you, is that when someone dies suddenly, they take all your unspoken words with them. Every "I love you" you never said, every argument you never apologized for, every moment you were too busy, too tired, or too distracted to simply be present. That night, sitting at our kitchen table, I made a promise to myself. I promised that I would never waste another day. I promised that I would live with intention, love more openly, and never postpone happiness again. And do you know what happened? I broke that promise almost immediately. Oh, I believed I was living differently. I hugged my boys more often. I said I love you more frequently. But then life happens, doesn't it? I married again. Work became busy, the boys grew older. I told myself everything was fine, that I had already learned my lesson, but I hadn't, not truly, because here is what I didn't understand when I was 33, something that took me another 70 years to fully comprehend. It is not enough to survive tragedy and convince yourself you have changed. The real lesson is not simply that life is short. Every greeting card already tells you that. The true lesson is that you will forget. You will slowly return to autopilot. You will begin believing you have plenty of time again. And that forgetting, that quiet return to comfort, that slow drift back into routine, that is the real tragedy. I married again in 1958. His name was Charles. He was a gentleman. We spent 42 years together before his heart finally gave out. And you know something? My biggest regret about those 42 years is not the arguments we had, not the financial problems or the disagreements. My greatest regret is all the ordinary Tuesday evenings I spent doing laundry instead of sitting beside him. All the times I said, "Not now, I'm busy," when he wanted to go for a walk. All the moments I treated as if they were guaranteed. Because here is what nobody explains about living to my age. You do not lose the people you love only once. You lose them again and again inside your memories. Every time you think about them, you remember another moment you wasted, another conversation you were too distracted to fully hear, another hug you ended too quickly because you had somewhere else to go. My son William died in 1987. He was 45 years old, cancer. At that time, I was 65. I remember sitting beside his hospital bed holding his hand, and he said to me, "Mom, I'm sorry I didn't call more often." And in that moment, I wanted to scream. I wanted to shake him and say, "Why are we apologizing now? Why didn't we call each other every single day when we still could?" But I didn't say those words. I simply held his hand and lied. I told him we still had enough time. We didn't. My third husband, Frank, died 2 years ago. He was 98 years old. We had spent 21 years together, and even after everything I had learned, everything I had already lost, do you know what I still did? Sometimes I scrolled through my phone while he was speaking. Sometimes I sighed when he told the same story for the 10th time. Sometimes I thought, I will listen tomorrow, but tomorrow does not always arrive. You are young. You are sitting there thinking, this sounds depressing, thinking, well, everyone dies eventually. But you are missing the point. The point is not that everyone dies. The point is that you behave as if you are the exception, as if somehow your life will be different, as if you will always have time later to live the way you want to live. I am 103 years old, and I can tell you with complete certainty that later almost never comes. You think you will travel when you finally retire. By that time, your knees will already be worn out. You believe you will reconnect with your sister after this busy period at work. That busy period will quietly last 20 years, and then she will be gone. You believe you will start writing that book, learning that language, taking that journey, having that conversation when you have more time, more money, more freedom, but you will not. Because here is the cruel truth. You already have time right now. You simply do not value it correctly. You trade it for things that do not matter. You spend it on people who drain your energy. You waste it worrying about problems that will not matter 5 years from now. And then one day, if you are fortunate enough to live as long as I have, you will look back and realize something painful. You had all the time you needed. You simply did not use it. I am not telling you to quit your job and run away to find yourself. I am not saying ignore your responsibilities. I am saying something harder. Pay attention right now, today, to what you are actually doing with your one short, unrepeatable life. Is your grandmother still alive? Call her today, not tomorrow. Today, because I am a grandmother and I can tell you exactly what she might be doing right now. She is sitting somewhere, maybe looking at old photographs, maybe simply staring out a window, and she is thinking about all the people who no longer call, all the grandchildren who are too busy, and she is telling herself that it is okay, that everyone has their own lives, that she understands. But it breaks her heart a little more each day. Your parents, if you are lucky enough to still have them, will not be here forever. And when they are gone, you will not care about that argument you had 5 years ago. You will not care that they were sometimes difficult or that they did not understand you. You will care about all the phone calls you never made, all the visits you postponed, all the times you could have just sat with them and didn't. I know this because I am that parent now. I had two sons. William died 38 years ago. James is 76 now. He visits every Sunday, rain or shine, every single Sunday. And you know what? It is still not enough. Not because he is not a good son. He is a wonderful son. But because no amount of time is ever enough when you truly love someone. Every Sunday when he leaves, I watch him walk to his car and I think, will I see him again? At my age, every goodbye might be the last one. That is not morbid. That is simply mathematics. But here is what you need to understand. It is not different for you just because you are young. Every goodbye might also be the last one for you. You just do not believe it yet. I have a great great granddaughter. Her name is Sophie. She is 16. Last month she came to visit me, and she spent the entire time looking at her phone. I did not say anything, because what would be the point? She thinks she has forever. She thinks her friends' messages are urgent. She believes this moment, sitting with her very old great grandmother, will always be available. It will not. And someday, probably when she is older, she will remember that visit. And she will remember that she spent it looking at her phone, and it will hurt her in ways she cannot imagine yet. That is the pain I want to save you from, that regret. Not the regret of big mistakes, those you can eventually forgive, but the regret of simple absence, of being physically present but mentally somewhere else, of treating the people you love as if they will always be there. They will not. I am not going to be here much longer. I can feel it, not in a frightening way, just in a knowing way. My body is tired. It has been working for more than a century, and it is ready to rest. And honestly, I am at peace with that. I have lived a long life, much longer than I expected, but I am not okay with the thought that you might waste yours the way I wasted so much of mine. Because here is the truth I learned 70 years too late. The moments that matter are not the big ones, not your wedding day, not your graduation, not your promotion. Those are wonderful, but they are not what you will remember at the end. You will remember Tuesday afternoon when your father tried to show you how to fix the sink and you were patient instead of annoyed. You will remember that random Saturday morning when you made pancakes with your children and nobody was rushing. You will remember the walk you took with your husband when you actually listened instead of thinking about what to say next. Those moments, the ordinary, unglamorous, completely unremarkable moments when you were simply there, fully present. Those are the ones that matter, and they are available to you right now, today, this moment. But you have to choose them. You have to protect them. Because everything in our world is designed to pull you away from them. Your phone, your work, your ambitions, your fears, your endless list of things to do. If I could go back to 33-year-old Dorothy standing in that kitchen the night Robert died, this is what I would tell her. The promise you are making right now to never waste another day, you will break it. You will break it again and again because you are human and humans forget. But here is your real job. Remember and return. Remember and return. Every time you forget, every time you drift back into distraction, busyness, and taking people for granted, notice it and return. Return to presence. Return to attention. Return to love. Not perfectly, but persistently. I am 103 years old. I have been alive for 37,595 days, and I can count on two hands the number of days I was completely, fully, truly present. That is my real regret. Not that I did not achieve more, travel more, or earn more money, but that I sleepwalked through most of my own life. Do not do what I did. Do not wait 70 years to learn this. Do not wait until everyone you love is gone to realize you should have loved them better when they were still here. Stop reading this and call someone you love. Stop reading this and go sit with someone in silence. Stop reading this and look, really look, at the people in your life while they are still here to be looked at. Because I promise you, with everything I have left, later never comes.